Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Privacy Edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the videos, the post-edited ones, up on YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble as well. So we've added Rumble to our list of tech sites where you can consume the content, because we all know that YouTube is starting to ban a lot of people that they don't like. So who knows? I might be in there. I tell people not to use Google services. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive on into the privacy news. Singapore police says that it will be given access to the COVID-19 contact tracing data. Almost like somebody's been saying from day one. Day one. Don't use the contact tracing apps on your phones. They are going to be harvested and used for nefarious purposes. Here you go. So they basically said they have access to everything in the Trace Together scheme, which is used by 80% of the nation's populations. So the police can track and map and see who has been where, when, why, how, and all of the other fun stuff as well. And so with that, I told you guys a long time ago, don't use these things. No, that doesn't keep everything right on your device, and it only works. It's just a mystical, magical back-end thing that stores all this data. If you ever thought it was doing just that, you need a checkup from the neck up, because there is absolutely no possible way that your phone is going to be able to transiently keep track of everything without some form of centralized database, and this is exactly what it's being used for. So just an FYI, if you want to participate in contact tracing, then work with the contact tracing people. Do not rely on phones and apps and things like that. All you're doing is just handing the data. Hey, the police in Singapore at least no longer need to ask Google for a geofence warrant. They just go and mine the data in the health department. Why not, right? So, second week in a row, Telegram is in the news, and it's getting to that point where I might just, if I start seeing one or two more things in Telegram bad in the next couple months, I'm going to say get rid of Telegram if you're on it. So this new Telegram feature exposes your precise location to hackers, and the messenger makes no plan to fix it. So this is a feature. By the way, this is not a bug. This is a feature. It is a feature that allows you to turn on this function called People Nearby, and then you can join groups that are nearby or ping with people that are nearby. And in theory, it doesn't provide a direct location, but guess what? If you spoof your location, which is quite easy to do from your phone, you can spoof your location multiple places, get 3 triangulation points, and pinpoint somebody, including where their address and home addresses might be. Now, the good news is this feature is not enabled by default. You have to explicitly turn it on, but it is used to participate in many groups. And so a lot of people do have it turned on, and then basically allows people to stalk you. Isn't that exciting? So here's a little bit of a map. They figure out location, because they'll kind of tell you location. So if you're in one spot and you spoof your location of various regions around the area, you can get a triangulation map and track down somebody's precise location. And when the security group indicated this, they said, we don't have any plans to fix this. This is a feature. There's no problem with this. So there we are, 2 weeks in a row, Telegram doing weird stuff. Maybe it's about time to think about utilizing other platforms. Intel is releasing its new RealSense ID facial authentication. Very dystopian. I did like some of the comments somebody were leaving in some of the articles. No, but basically it's like Apple. What they claim is everything is offline. You have to program the particular database it's used for. It's like used to get into an office building. Basically, it's Apple Face ID, but applied to other situations rather than unlocking your phone. So you can get these modules, put them on the school doors. You walk near the school doors. The door scans you if your face is in the database and it lets you in. This type of stuff. And really, to me, any type of databasing connected with facial ID is a bad thing. It is going to be possible for somebody to figure out how to move off of these things. So there you have it. Intel, they're up to crazy dystopian type stuff. Of course, this did not even make the main news this week, but it was deeply significant. We already mentioned it in the comments briefly. I didn't want to comment on it there because we had an entire article about it. WhatsApp now has a new pushed out notification that if you're using WhatsApp, you probably just fine, whatever, agree to the new terms. Well, you should not just push whatever, fine, agree to the new terms. You should actually read and understand what those new terms happen to be. Because what they are doing is they are now merging all of your data to Facebook. So it's updating its terms and privacy policies. Key updates include more information about WhatsApp services and how we process your data, how businesses can use Facebook-hosted services to store and manage your WhatsApp chats. We partner with Facebook to offer integrations across platforms. Now, what's not listed right there, but it is inside of it under when you dig into it, here is what it is doing. Come next month, users will no longer have the choice to integrate with Facebook or not. The data, this is just some of the data, it's going to collect user phone numbers. It's going to collect other people's phone numbers stored in your address books. This is the big one. We'll come back to it. Profile names, profile pictures, status messages, including when a user was last online, and diagnostic data collected from app logs. So let's go back and look at that other people's phone numbers stored in address books. If you want to be the foolish person using WhatsApp and pass all of your data to Facebook because you casually agreed to use whatever, fine, that's all on you. But the problem with a lot of these companies right now is I do not consent to use Facebook, WhatsApp, or any Facebook properties whatsoever under any way, shape, or form. In fact, I've explicitly blocked them across all of my networks, servers, and devices so that Facebook cannot even track me silently on the web as I'm navigating to different places. The problem is somebody else has my phone number in their phone and they have WhatsApp. Now Facebook is harvesting my phone number and my contact name and placing it into their databases, despite I have explicitly banned Facebook from everything in my life and do not agree to any of their terms of service. So what recourse is there for people like me that prevents Facebook from collecting and harvesting my data? The answer is nothing. And now we are in these full-blown, full-fledged Facebook and Google ruled corporatocracy. We're all just basically screwed. Now, does that mean we raise up the white flag and surrender? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I might just have to blast everybody on my contact list saying, hey, if you got WhatsApp, I'm requesting you delete my phone number. Thank you. You can write it down and type it in if you want to call me. There you have it. But hey, if you haven't been calling me anyway, whatever. But this is a very significant thing, and we'll see a little bit more about it. Right about here. Isn't that interesting? So the app privacy labels have come out, and it's very interesting to see what is going on here. So what they did is Apple is looking at the type of data that is being collected. Here is Signal, nothing. iMessage, a little bit of data linked to you. Here's WhatsApp, and here's Facebook Messenger. Unfortunately, WhatsApp is going to become about this big when they are forced to merge. So for those people, I know Signal had a massive boost this week because Elon Musk tweeted something about it, caused kind of their servers to go down. Now, I was using Signal for a period of time, and I stopped using Signal when they were forcing to use a PIN number and storing contacts in the cloud. I wanted nothing to do with that, so I didn't delete Signal, but I dissociated it from me, and I kept it on the phone just in case I needed to access any of the archived messages that were in there. But because there was enough outroar in the privacy community, that is now an optional feature. So as of now, Signal is, in my opinion, good and safe to use. I just haven't had a need to move back to it. So there's Signal. iMessage just collects your email address, your phone number, your search history, and your device ID. Why does it need all that information to send text messages? WhatsApp has the device ID, user ID, advertising data, purchase history, course location, phone numbers, email address, contacts, product integration, crash data, performance data, other diagnostic data, payment information. There you go, guys. Sending a text message and the app collects your payment data. Customer support, product interaction, and other Facebook, other user content. Yeah, other user content. And then Facebook, we're not even going to read this. That would just take a while. If you're still using Facebook, delete it. Make it your 2021 goal. All right. So yeah, Facebook kind of sucks. More though in Apple. There is a downside, the dark side, as it were, of the Apple privacy. So of course they're saying, hey, we need to do all this privacy stuff, and Facebook is leading the charge, going, no, this is too much. We need to be able to harvest data without people knowing about it. And Apple's like, I don't know. But this article kind of makes it clear that it's one of these arguments, if you ban something, it's going to arrive somewhere and it's going to be harder to find. All you're doing, Apple, is pushing this data collection into the underground. And that's what this article is talking about, where app developers are now looking at various ways that technically do violate Apple's policies, but they are willing to risk it because they want to collect the data regardless of what else is going on. And so it says here that some of them will partake in device fingerprinting. And so this is kind of a downside of Apple doing that. So they're just going to start putting all sorts of crazy, weird, dystopian stuff back there because they can, and it's the only way they're going to collect the data they want. So there we have some dark underbelly sides of Apple doing what Apple is doing. Well, our last two articles are about they watch us in our sleep, because two tech companies this week are allegedly working on things to monitor your sleep for you using radar, of all things. Isn't that exciting? They watch in your sleep. Yeah, I do need to fix the banner on this one here. We'll go ahead and get that fixed. Of course, you guys in post are like, what's he talking about? Yeah, that banner down there, yeah, I'm going to fix that when I edit this video. So, all right. Amazon is reportedly developing a radar-equipped sleep apnea tracker. Now, I get sleep apnea is a thing. You got to be careful of sleep apnea. You know, if you have it, you want to get some treatments for it. Or actually, here's a better tip. Lose a little weight. I know it's hard to do, hard to say, but sleep apnea is a metabolic disease associated with obesity. But Amazon now wants to have an Alexa-powered device that can track and monitor for signs of sleep apnea using radar. That's right, guys. You guys are going to be putting radar into your bedrooms while you sleep that are constantly feeding data up to big tech companies. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? This might be a good time to say, guys, tomorrow at noon, I guess, depending on when you're watching this, Saturday at noon, Saturday the 9th at noon, I will be releasing the reboot of Tinfoil Hat Time, and we are going to be talking about America's credit score, America's social credit score. And this is the type of stuff that we're going to start to see happening. So tune in for that premiered video of Tinfoil Hat Time. So with that, though, Amazon said we're not commenting on rumor and speculation, but apparently the guys over at Business Insider had more details or information about this, but yeah, I couldn't actually read what they had to say because paywalls are stupid. That's why we're looking at the Verge article instead of the Business Insider article. And that's right, Business Insider. All right. So, using radar, Nintendo first tried this a number of years back, but they're like, yeah, there's really nothing for this. Of course, Amazon's project is being codenamed Brahms from the German composer of Lullaby. It's very dystopian, isn't it? A little bit. But anyway, it's going to monitor this information, and then you can go ahead and check your Apple and your Alexa, hey, Alexa, order unicorn meat health tracker stuff, and find the actual data about it. That's exciting. And our last one is Google is doing the same thing. Google is launching a new Nest Hub in 2021, and it uses Solly for sleep tracking. So remember Solly, we first talked about this as a patent, and then it actually showed up on the Nest thermostat. So this is using a low-frequency radar that will detect if you're coming near it. So if you start walking in the vicinity of the thermostat, it will turn itself on and listen for a command. You walked. Tell us all about what you're doing. And of course, that data is going to go back. You know, this guy walks by the thermostat 4 times a day at half-hour increments. That must be his break time, you know. But this one here is utilizing the same technique that Amazon is doing. They're a little bit more open about it. They're like, oh yeah, we're doing this dystopian crap. And the idea is to put the radar stuff inside of your devices that are sitting on your nightstand, you know, the devices with cameras and microphones and radar that are perpetually connected to Google services, putting them right next to your bed so they can watch you and hear you and radar you while you sleep. That's a little bit on the crazy side, guys. A little bit on the crazy side. So there we have it. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, have a look at our affiliates. Today we are looking at ExpressVPN. You can have up to five. I keep on meaning to look into the exact number on this one. I said 5 or 6 or 10 devices, one of them connected at the same time. And this is considered one of the greatest VPNs right now. No evidence of any collecting of logs or anything like that. Click on the Get Started button up here. You can get a year of service for $100, 6 months for $60, or a single month for $12.95, and that would help support the channel. So now let's go ahead and wrap up with just 2 security news items. So our first security news item is the Zyxel? How in the world do you pronounce this stuff? All right, so these are security gateways, very good security gateways. They're security gateways that they hard-coded the admin login. Lord help us. You know, this is like the solar wind hack. They actually told the companies, do not allow your antivirus to search in our directories. Brilliance. Brilliance at its finest. So these devices here, you can use them for VPNs, other network security type things, and firewalls, stuff like that. Well, it turns out that they were compromised. They had an undocumented user account with full administrative rights hard-coded into the device firmware. Oh, joy. So anyway, several of these were compromised. They found, what is it? Recent scan showed more than 100,000 of these devices have exposed web interfaces to the internet. So over 100,000 of these things could be accessed. These are used by businesses, you know, all these companies that are promising excellent privacy policies that aren't even securing their stuff right. So there's several different models that are affected. ATP series running firmware ZLD V460. You can read them all there on the screen. So if you have one of these, double check for any firmware updates. Well, there was a little bit of a T-Mobile breach. It was very small in scope. They said only like about 200,000 customers, so 0.2%. And it was based on the CPNI records. So it didn't contain payment information, users, passwords, any of that. Pretty much it had phone numbers and a little bit of metadata for 200,000 people. So they acknowledged it very quickly. They sent out information. They worked with a company to figure it out. And they figured out it was a very small scope on a very small user base. So not a whole ton to be worried about. But if you are using T-Mobile services, then they did inform you about it. So just make sure you're aware of that. But hey, I guess, you know, it's something to be said for being careful about that. Well, that ends this section. If you want to help support the channel, head on over to my Subscribestar page, subscribestar.com/switchedtolinux. I think we've crossed the threshold where people's accounts will automatically be billed now, finally, which is good. So head on over there. Mostly gives you access to anything we do behind the scenes. So anybody that is a supporter got a chance to already see the tinfoil hat time video. And if you did not see it, watch it as soon as you can tonight, because tonight I'm going to schedule it for premiere tomorrow, and I think that puts it into the private mode, so you won't be able to watch it with the link I send out. But anytime I release those videos early, there will be a link on the post, whether you are here on Subscribestar or on Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or on thinklifemedia.com. I did post the link over there, and also on the supporter section on Discord. If you are a supporter on the Discord server, let me know your account name and I will get you into the supporter group on Discord. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.